Good afternoon. My name is Joel Elston. I'm a life coach in Richmond, Virginia. And today I want to share with you one of my favorite concepts I use in my practice. I use this with my clients who report being stuck or not knowing what their next move is in life. It's called the law of action. And I begin by telling a story about a man who in 1925, he returned from World War I and he joined his family's business. And his first task for the family's business was to go down to a small town in Texas, Cisco, Texas, to purchase a small bank. Cisco was undergoing an oil boom and it was a hustling, bustling town, big economy, and owning a bank in Texas during an oil boom seemed like an incredible investment. So when he arrived in Cisco, there was hardly any hotel rooms available. A lot of field workers were, obviously sleeping there. They didn't really live there, so there was a big demand for hotel rooms. But fortunately, right across the street at the Mobley Hotel, he was able to get a room. And over the course of 4 or 5 days, he got to know the manager of the hotel pretty well, along with several members of staff, and they became very vested in him purchasing the bank. They loved the idea of him buying that bank. But unfortunately, the deal for the bank fell through. No matter how hard he tried, he could not come to an agreement with the owners or the board at the bank. So dejected, he returned back to the hotel for his final night in Texas before he had to go face his family and admit his failure and unable to buy the bank. So the manager approached him and said, I wanted to see what was going to happen with the bank, but this hotel is for sale. And he showed him the books, and it was a very profitable hotel, and he became excited. And he did his due diligence and decided, I have plenty of money that I was going to spend on the bank. The hotel was less than that. He ended up buying the hotel. Now, I can't imagine that his family are going to be really super excited when he returns home with a hotel when they sent him to buy a bank. I think in the end it worked out okay because, believe it or not, that was the very first Hilton hotel. That whole chain of Hilton hotels started with a man, one of the family members, going and trying to buy a bank and ended up buying the hotel that began just a massive corporation that exists today, is a multi-billion-dollar corporation that is one of the best-known brands in the world. Started with that. The bank itself, a few years later, shut down because of the Depression, and it became a non-event. So the action of going to Cisco, Texas to buy the bank put him in position for that to be able to buy the hotel. That was not his intent, but the law of action suggests taking some action puts you in a position for the next action. It's almost like a GPS. I've used this analogy before in another video. When you sit in your car with a GPS and you don't know where you're going, you have to move. The GPS needs you to move. If you just sit there, it doesn't do anything. If you go in the wrong direction, you're good. It tells you to do a U-turn. Life sort of has that built-in GPS, and it's by taking some action, getting out of the house, taking that next step, not getting stuck. So getting people to a place where you take massive action always leads to results. It might not be the direct results you want. I know in my life, I have multiple stories of events that took place, and years later, they had great relevance. There's a connection. The action I took years ago matched something later on. There's a synchronicity in life, but it begins with action. And people who become totally stuck, that's what sort of a depression feels like when you can't move forward. Then there's no movement, so there's no chance for the law of action to be in play. So I encourage people to take steps forward, and whatever that may be. If you're not working, you get a job and start looking for the job. You don't always just look for the job. Anything you want to do begins with some type of action. The law of action suggests you don't have to take perfect action, you just need to take action. So I encourage everyone, all of my clients, anyone watching this video, if you are stuck, let's begin some type of action. You'll be amazed at the results. I cannot believe that it's worked so well in my life, and seemingly some of the most ridiculous actions I've taken had led to this life that I have today. And it wasn't a direct route. There was no way that I could imagine all of this unfolding. So I enjoy sharing this concept. Reach out if you want to know more about it. I am writing a book about this as well. Thank you for your time, and I hopefully will get some more videos soon. Have a good day. Thanks. Bye.